Welcome. This is Elaine Starling, the Abundance Ambassador and the host of the Abundance Journey podcast and video show. I'm so glad you're joining us here today. And I want to start this session a little bit differently than I have in the past, because I want to start with a very specific intention. I'm all about your intention, how you want to feel in the moment, and then your attention, what you focus on. And today's intention is all about opening yourself up to receive unlimited amounts of love and joy and prosperity and abundance. Because the woman I'm about to introduce you to, that's just her sweet spot. That's just where she comes from. That's who she is. I got to tell you, I was so excited to talk to Anna again, to be able to interview her for this podcast, that I thought it was last week. And I was bugging her and she's like, no, it's next week. I'm like, dang, I was so excited to talk to Anna. I can't wait. So that should give you just a little preview of what you have in store and all the incredible blessings that are available to you when you choose to be open to them. So let me introduce you to Anna really quickly, because this is a lady you really want to know. Anna is known affectionately as the world's best optimization coach. Her skills include being a childhood trauma removal hypnotherapist. She's also a relationship expert and the host of the world's best trauma recovery podcast. Anna empowers others with her ultimate courage, stories of healing and forgiveness. Anna personally experienced systemic sexual abuse that caused 2 forced abortions from her stepfather and then 16 consecutive miscarriages. That's her old story. Anna has a totally new story now. She has completely reclaimed her power. She's freed herself from the tether of shame and pain, and she's made it her life purpose to help other people do the same so they can live the life of her dreams. You're truly going to be deeply moved by Anna's relentless desire to empower a whole generation of people to confront this subject of trauma head on and educate themselves on how they can heal, thrive, and prevent abuse from happening. I'm super excited to have Anna here today because, believe it or not, you don't have to have extreme situations of trauma. You don't have to be raped. You don't have to be bullied necessarily. Everybody experiences trauma. Everybody. It's part of your childhood, and it's part of what cements your identity. But Anna's discovered the blessings that are hidden in trauma. And that's why I'm so excited to have you join us. Welcome, Anna. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Elaine. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, thank you. And you know what? Like hearing your introduction back, it's still it's so surreal, because if you would meet me 3 years ago, I would be like this, quiet girl, terrified being on the camera, talking to people, like stuck into my past trauma. And now is like, yes, that's you.
It feels really good, doesn't it?
It feels so good.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Well, I obviously you dealt with a lot of stuff early in your life. Why are you so passionate about what you're doing now to help people overcome trauma?
Honestly?
Yes, honestly.
Honestly, it's like there is nothing better than the feeling of when someone sends you a message, or when someone says you, Anna, what you've done with me saved my life or transformed my life. Thank you so much. This is the feeling that gives me a fulfillment and joy in my life. And this is the feeling I was searching for. I was desperately searching for in my life, to create this amazing and positive impact on people's life. And
yeah, when you're
so
living
rewarding.
Your purpose, and you're on track and you're in alignment with the divine that flows through you, there's nothing better. You're just living in a space of grace and ease, and that's wonderful. So I know this is going to sound a little strange to people because here we're on the Abundance Journey show, and that's what we're talking about, abundance. And believe it or not, abundance shows up in some pretty interesting ways. How would you define abundance given that you're dealing with trauma?
Such a good question. And there are so many descriptions of abundance, so many meanings. For me, abundance is when my needs are fulfilled, and my needs in a relationship, in my health, in my well-being, in a simple stuff like self-nurturing. And for me, abundance is a mindset, because I believe that abundance is coming from inside out. It is something to do with money, but again, money is a reflection of what's happening in a world. But you can feel abundant even without money. And I can give you an example, Elaine. My husband and I, we are traveling the world, but traveling across America at the moment. And we are so abundant, honestly. Like it's nothing to do with money. The people we meet on the way, in the cafe, in the shop, on the street, that just, who are listening to our stories and say, wow, this is so profound. It really transformed my life. I don't know, the different places we see around us. It's just, the abundance is everywhere.
Yeah, it sure is. And, the thing that I found really compelling, because I did a breakthrough session with Anna, and I just want to be really open and transparent because I haven't had extreme trauma in my life. But yeah, as Anna worked with me, I went back to my childhood and I identified some things that for me personally were traumatic. They were real issues. They were real challenges where I attached a whole lot of energy to them and I attached my identity to them. And what I didn't realize at the time is that every single one of those situations was actually the divine sending me a message. But because of my level of development at that time, I didn't get it, right? I didn't interpret it correctly. I just attached a lot of energy to it. And it was almost like a bookmark. It's like, I need to come back to this because there's something really important hidden here for me. And I'm not going to let go of it. I'm not going to remove the bookmark until I really get the message. And Anna was able to help me discover that divine message that was hidden within the trauma. So, for example, let me just share with you one of my really profound divine messages that was
I think it was, yeah.
when I was like 4 years old.
I think it would be very beneficial for your listeners. Very beneficial, because so many people experience the same what you did, Elaine.
Yeah. It was really interesting because one of the messages that I received from the divine at 4 years old, didn't understand, but attached a lot of energy to it. The situation that I was going through doesn't matter. What I want you to focus on is the message that I received. The message I received is that love is the blood of the divine. Love is what nourishes and nurtures and enables the divine to exist. Love is the key. And equally importantly, you as a human being are part of the beating heart of the divine. You are circulating love through the divine. You're creating love, amplifying love, empowering love, and pushing that through the divine. You're in partnership with the divine. That's a pretty dang big message for a 4-year-old. And obviously, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So I attached a bunch of trauma to it. That's my bookmark. Mm-hmm. And yet at the same time, where it's trauma because it's a bookmark, it's a huge blessing at the same time. That's not mutually exclusive. So I want to define abundance on Anna's behalf as there's a hidden blessing in that trauma. There's a hidden message from the divine for you. Do you find that to be the case for a lot of your clients, Anna?
100%. 100%. Because, and you know what's, what you mentioned, like nothing horrendous happened to you, but never underestimate your trauma, your experience, because there was scientific research made with kids who were in Syria, who were living in the area where bombs were thrown, and kids from Europe with sexual abuse, with horrendous sexual abuse, and they did a MRI on their brain, and it turned out that the impact of the exploding bombs and sexual childhood abuse is exactly the same on our brain. So even if it's like abandonment situation, it's still a trauma. And because at 4 years old, we are still developing, we don't understand what's happening. Our brain registered this as a huge event. And that's defines us who we are in the future.
Yeah.
Who we
Well, I
are in
got to ask you this
adulthood.
question because, you work with so many different people, but is there kind of what sort of problem or pain are people experiencing when they discover you? Because there's something where you stub your toe and you're like, dang, that really hurts. I got to fix this toe. Right. So what's the issue that cause them to go, wow, I really need to talk to Anna?
To be honest, a lot. I would start from I would start from emotional eating, being overweight and just stuck in this body and not being able to lose the weight for many years. Anxiety is one of the biggest issue for my clients. Depression, and then alcohol or smoking addiction.
Interesting.
And many
Interesting
people,
how it manifests. It's almost like self-abuse, right?
I know, right? And many people just feel stuck. They just feel stuck in their emotions, such as feelings such as anger, or or pain, or shame, or fear of judgment, especially. So this is the people I'm dealing with. But you know what's happening, Elaine? And I just wanted to ask your listeners as well if they would think about it. Did you know that all those issues, problems, or challenges that I've just listed, they are consequences of the one big problem?
Those are the hidden signs. Yeah. And we don't realize we're trying to diagnose, right? And we think that it's something obvious, like, well, I just need to follow this diet or something. No, as long as the trauma's there, then it doesn't matter what diet you try. That's not going to fix the problem. So thank you for that, because that's counterintuitive and it's really good. Those are symptoms that you've got a hidden trauma that you really need to address. But once we know we've got some trauma we need to address, what can we change internally to help us overcome that?
I'll say something before I jump in. You cannot overcome trauma just because if someone is watching this video, imagine this is the trauma. I'm just holding my arm. You cannot overcome this trauma. You can only go through this.
Okay.
And the only way to get rid of your trauma and stuck emotions is to go through, face your deepest, darkest. And some people can think now, oh, I'm not going to face it because it's going to re-traumatize me. And I can hear you and I know exactly what you're talking about. But carrying these stuck emotions and feelings is re-traumatizing us again and again and again. By going through, by facing it, by identifying what is the message, what is the gold lesson that I have to learn from this situation. This will set you free. And
So
I'm
true.
speaking from my experience. I'm speaking from my 20 years of experience. And Elaine, for your listeners who don't know my story, and you mentioned it at the beginning, here I am, 21 years old girl. I've been sexually, physically, emotionally, and verbally abused for 6 years by those time by my stepfather. Going through 2 forced illegal abortions when I was 15 and 16. And then when I wanted to become a mom, I started having challenges with my pregnancy. And so at 21, that's when I realized something is going wrong with me, because I was so terrified to tell what was happening to me. Neither I was like, I could leave my family, because my stepfather said, if you leave the family or if you tell to anyone, your mother and your brother will suffer. So imagine at 21, I'm literally thinking to end my life. And then I'm thinking, I can't leave my mom and my brother. Otherwise, I have to protect them. And if I stay in this house, I'm gonna kill myself. Imagine the choice in front of you. And so many people would just break in this situation. But what I haven't realized is that the most important thing is you. And it's not our fault what's happened to us, but it is our responsibility what we are going to do with this trauma. Because so many people would stuck in a victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask yourself, why it happened to me? Why me? This is the end of the end of the
And Anna, I really want to ask you, what's your favorite way to help people process, to help people get through the trauma, to find the abundance that's hidden, those divine messages that are hidden within? What do you do with your clients?
I will give you an example. I'm in Utah now, and I have a client, this beautiful lady. She's a Mormon lady. She's pregnant with her 7th child, and she came to me with anxiety problem, and she's experiencing such a horrible anxiety that she can't leave the house because she's so anxious what's going to happen to her or her child if she'll leave the house. She can't go for a walk. She can't do all those activities with kids that she wants to do. She can't go to shopping. Imagine, like, you just stuck at home with 6 kids. And by telling my story, what I went through, that was the first step that gave her hope. If you could go through this situation, then I can go.
Mm-hmm.
And through my healing journey, I've experienced so many things. Psyche, psychologists, shamans, like you name it, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And hypnotherapy really helped me to get through this trauma, really helped me. And I just became a certified hypnotherapist because I know the power. I know the power of hypnotherapy and the power of NLP when you go and work on your subconscious. And so, and we're not doing anything really hardcore with her because she's pregnant. But after one session of hypnotherapy, where she was able to remember some her childhood trauma, where she was sexually assaulted as a 3-year-old girl, she was able to forgive her perpetrator. She was able to forgive herself, and she realized that the world is not scary. It's just because of her trauma. She was playing it again and again and again, that it's really dangerous to go outside. And you know
Wow.
what she told me, Elaine? She told me, Anna, for 2 days after the session, I haven't had any anxiety, any panic attacks. She
Wow.
went for a walk with her daughter, literally for a very long walk. And she said, for the very first time, I felt hope.
Oh, that's amazing. What a beautiful story, Anna. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I got to enjoy a hypnotherapy session with Anna. And one of the things that I really appreciated about it was I didn't have to go deep into the trauma. I didn't have to get re traumatized and relive all of that again. It really allowed me to stay from a distance, but see the hidden messages that were inside that were waiting for me. So I could go to the bookmark and get what I needed from it. And I could thank you and goodbye to the old energy. And it's shifted so much for me. It's just amazing. Well, Anna, one of the challenges that I think we all suffer from, we'd really like the solution today, now, like done. And you were saying that you can't completely overcome trauma. You find a way to get through it, to discover the message in it. And so you diminish how scary and intense it is, and it stops being a problem for you. But that's a process that we go through. It's not like bang and you're done. So, what are those baby steps that we can look towards that show us we're on the right path, that we are making progress through our trauma?
If you want a very, like, really fast effect, my biggest, and please, people, listen and hear me, my biggest advice is to invest in yourself. Get yourself a really amazing coach who went through similar situation and who is in the place where you want to be. You will literally cut 20 years of your journey, honestly, because I was trying to process it myself. I was trying to deal it within myself, not because I was greedy and I didn't have money, but because I thought I'm strong. I can go through this. But then my shame was kicking out. I didn't want to tell my story to anyone, which was the biggest mistake ever. And I didn't know this. I didn't know I can go and ask for help, honestly, because for me, asking for help, it was a sign of weakness. But
Ah,
as Les Brown said, ask for help so you not appear weak, but ask for help so you can remain strong. Because the
mhm.
more you keep it to yourself, the more it eats you from inside. That, speaking from my own experience. And my first experience, when I first opened up and I connected to the coach who she went through this similar situation, and she became a speaker, she became a coach, and she's helping people to heal their trauma. And I was like, something clicked in me. That's what I want to do. Before, I couldn't see what's my purpose is. Before, I couldn't see my path. I was just, caught up in my work, in my home, looking after dog, all this life thing. And I was so scared to look inside me.
Yeah.
What's my inner child wants? What's Anna wants?
Mhm.
What's most important for me?
Mhm.
And as soon as I was able to do this, the whole new world opened up for me.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
my biggest advice is to connect with someone who you resonate with
Mhm.
and
That's
invest
so
in
true.
yourself.
Yeah, I want to reiterate this in a slightly different way because I think it's really, really important. You made two key points. The first one is stop pretending that you have to control everything. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have all the answers. That's not why you're here. You're here to try to figure it out. And that means that you're resourceful enough to reach out and find experts who can help you. There are people who've been there, done that, and found a way through. And you can save a lot of time, a lot of angst, a lot of money if you just go ahead and find somebody that you can really connect with who can lead you where you want to go. So that's number one. And number two, that's really, really profound. And I can't emphasize this enough. I've heard it every day this week. And that's the divine saying, this is a really important message. You need to just get this. Please get this. Ask for what you need. Ask for what you need. Don't apologize. Just ask for what you need. Tell people, I'm stuck. I've got some hidden limiting belief. I have no idea what's going on here. That's why I reached out to Anna. Mm-hmm. And I have no idea what it is, but there's something stopping me. And how do I get through this? And Anna took me through a breakthrough session that was absolutely miraculous. It cleared so much for me, and it helped me identify those divine messages that I hadn't understood. So yeah, you don't have to know everything, and just ask for help. Because remember, if you want to receive abundance, you have to be willing to receive abundance. You have to open yourself up. And that means you have to be willing to ask questions, ask for help, be open and vulnerable. People want to help you. The universe wants you to be successful.
You will be surprised. You will be surprised how many people want to help. Yeah. Because those people who went through some, challenging situations like I did, or like you did, Elaine, you know how it feels, and you really want to help. So
true. Just ask, because then you're giving us an opportunity to share our experiences and our expertise, and it makes us feel good because, as Anna was saying, she gets to live her purpose. There is nothing more fulfilling than living your purpose and sharing that love. That's why I started with the intention that you're able to receive the deep, profound, divine love that is here for you. And it is unlimited. It is infinite love that is here for you. Now, Anna and I can generate this until the cows come home. We're really good at this. It's up to you to be willing to receive it. And the only way you receive it is by welcoming it in and getting the insights and asking for help. So, Anna, you offered an incredibly generous gift to our listeners, to the audience. Could you tell us a little bit about what you're making available to everyone?
So, for your listeners, Elaine, I would love to offer this opportunity, and please don't miss this, a 45 minutes of breakthrough session. That's what we did with Elaine, something similar. It's so powerful because I have a specific questions to ask you for you to finally to figure out what is holding you back. What is it? What is your limiting belief? What is your stuck emotion that we can just clear at the same session? And then watch the transformation. If you don't mind, I would love to invite you to do this. And then you can decide for yourself what you want to do later on. But I promise you, you will never be the same person again.
That was my experience for sure. It was really, really amazing. That's extremely generous to offer that, Anna. I wouldn't be at all surprised that later Anna is going to have to limit this to a certain number of people. So please reach out to Anna as while it's still available for free. I can't believe this. 45 minutes of brilliance for free, where you can discover your limiting beliefs and release them. That's really, really cool. Well, Anna, we always turn the tables on our guests because we know that when we give is when we truly receive. Like you were saying, when you're able to give your expertise and live your purpose, that's when you're really receiving everything you truly need to be fulfilled. So what can we do to serve you?
Look, Elaine, you are already doing, and I'm so appreciative for you to provide me this platform, this amazing safe space where I can share my story and where I can share my experience with your audience. This is something I'm really enjoy doing. So being with you, talking to you, and hearing your amazing story of transformation. So beneficial. So thank you so much. And of course, for your listeners, if someone needs to hear this message, if someone you know, or if it's you who is struggling with anxiety, with depression, who feels stuck or overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's your purpose in your life, reach out. There are so many wonderful strategies and tips I use for me, and I'm so happy to share it with you.
Oh,
So
that's incredibly generous, Anna. You can see why I wanted to interview Anna, right? Because she's absolutely brilliant. And honestly, to me, Anna just personifies what unconditional love looks like. I mean, a woman who has experienced this kind of trauma and this kind of abuse, and she shows up as her full self, honoring the darkness that is there in her life. And instead of trying to eliminate it, she's willing to be a whole person and hold both the light and darkness at the same time and accept them without judgment and recognize that there are blessings within. Anna, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much. And I want everybody to stick around because we're going to activate abundance in just a second. Hey, isn't Anna amazing? I just love her energy. I love where she's coming from. I love how honest and authentic and open she is. And I'm doing my best to model that. I want to be Anna when I grow up because she's just so all that. So we're going to activate abundance now. And we start by celebrating in advance because there were so many great tips that we can take away from this experience with Anna. I'm going to pick one, okay? But I love her energy and I love that I can absorb that energy. And that's what I'm celebrating in advance. Step 2, acknowledge one of the key pieces of information that really meant a lot to you. And one of the things that I really gravitated to is this whole concept of light and dark is what makes you whole. You don't have to have one or the other. You get both. And when you're willing to accept both and go and look at that darkness in a safe, safe way, you don't have to relive the trauma. But when you're willing to look at the darkness, the light gets revealed, right? You end up shining a light on the darkness, and all of a sudden, there's something in there that's a blessing for you. That was a really cool aha for me in this whole dialogue, in this whole conversation. So that's what I want to acknowledge. So step 3 is appreciate what a difference it can make in your life. Well, now, when I get stuck or I have a problem and I'm not moving forward, I can step back for a moment and go, okay, there's a limiting belief or there's a story that I'm telling myself that is making me stop for a second. And all that means is that the divine is sending me guidance and I'm not getting it yet. I haven't tuned in yet. So it's kind of like the divine's knocking on the front door going, hello, anybody home? Wake up, please. So that's a really cool thing because if I know that there's divine guidance on the way, I can wake up and tune in. Okay. So that's what I want to appreciate is I can tune in. It's a signal that there's divine guidance available to me when I'm ready to receive it. That's pretty cool. Step 4, we're going to activate the abundance. So what I'm going to do is every time I get that stuck feeling or I know there's a limiting belief that's hidden there, I'm going to step back and I'm going to connect with the divine. Now, I can do that through meditation. I can do that through energy exercises. I can do that through collaborating with someone like Anna to help me really tap in and access those hidden messages. That's so cool. I've got a shortcut. I don't have to have it all figured out. I don't have to do it all myself. I can reach out and get help. How can it get even better than this? I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm so happy and grateful for that opportunity. And hey, bring in the blessings. Even more is better. So step 5, celebrate again. Look at how much progress you've made. I know it's counterintuitive to celebrate trauma. I know. It's like, what? You want me to what? Okay, don't celebrate the trauma part. Celebrate that you are a whole being, a whole beautiful divine being with unlimited access to divine love and blessings. And all you have to do is let it in. This is Elaine Starling. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll check out the Abundance Journey training, and I'll see you again soon on the Abundance Journey show. Watch my TED Talk, Abundance is a Choice. You can visit theabundancejourney.com to find a link and discover how you can receive a special gift. You are a blessing, and you are blessed.